Hello, everybody. This is Nomad. Yes, and we are live, and I'm here again with Jensen. All right,
Hello.
and we're going to talk about some news, but we have a different discussion that we got involved in,
Yeah.
and we have come to the conclusion that the royal we actually it is actually Jensen has come to the conclusion, and I concur. Okay, that you may be enjoying this conversation. Now, it has been found out that the exchequer, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, of Britain, has had a
It's
green
actually
card when he
it's
got the
actually
job,
easy,
right?
mate. Okay, just call him Rishi. Not Richie, Rishi.
Rishi. Okay, well,
That's it? Yep.
Rishi has a green card,
Yes.
okay, from the United States.
Yes.
Okay, so what does this mean? Well, to be honest, we give green cards to what we call resident aliens. It's
Mm-hmm.
a permanent status that you are living in as a foreign national. You are living in the United States. Now, Jensen, please elaborate on the tax issue that you wanted to discuss, so that the folks out inside understand.
Certainly. The problem is, you see, dear old Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, basically the dude that sorts out taxes for anyone that doesn't understand what that means. He and his wife have a rather sketchy tax issues. His wife is known as a non-dom, which is a non-domestic person, and she pays her taxes in India. So she doesn't get affected by the British tax system. Please remember, her husband is in charge of the British tax system. So nudge, nudge, wink, wink, know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm wondering whether or not dear old Rishi actually paid taxes in America or paid taxes in Britain. And now, I know the argument would be, well, which country was he actually working in at the time? I agree. And theoretically, it was Britain because he became Chancellor of the Exchequer and therefore dude who sorted out taxes while still having a green card for America. Logic dictates he was paying British taxes, but I don't know.
Okay. Now, if I'm an American, and
Mhm.
let's say that well, if I'm an American, excuse me, as an American, right? If I take a job, let's say I got hired by one of these Beltway bandits, basically a defense contractor, right?
Mhm.
And was sent to work overseas, like, for example, in Kuwait.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the defense contractor, whoever I was looking for, we'll just give a name out there that everybody knows, Raytheon.
Mhm.
Right. So Raytheon is paying my wage. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the United States, the rules are if you're working overseas, a certain amount that, uh, how do I put this? A certain amount of that is of income is not taxable. Okay.
Okay.
And when I say a certain amount,
Mhm.
20 years ago, right,
Mhm.
it was $80,000.
Oh.
Okay. So, and nowadays, I don't know what it is. I doubt it stayed at 80. I suspect it's in the hundreds now. So, your first $100,000 of income is not taxable income. It doesn't have to be reported as taxable income.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Now, that does not say anything, all right, about anything else. So it's not to say what you may be paying as a result of being in a foreign nation. For example, you guys have a VAT tax, right?
Yes.
if I was living in Britain and I wanted to buy a car in Britain, okay, I would have to pay the VAT tax.
Yes.
Maybe. Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, there are certain
Okay.
rules that we've or deals that the United States has made with countries that have VAT tax, and we can apply to say that, for example, if I bought a car in Britain but had no intention of leaving that car in Britain, okay, if I was going to take that car and take it back to the United States,
Yeah.
all right, then they would make a deal actually that I'd pay U.S. taxes, not the VAT tax.
Okay.
Now,
That's odd, but okay.
and it's that can be a significant benefit, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so those rules are kind of ambiguous. Now, I don't know what this guy has paid in taxes, right?
No.
I don't know if he was paying taxes to the United States. I don't know if once you get permanent resident status, I'm not sure whether or not it automatically defaults if you don't stay in the country for a certain period of time. Okay. It's a status just goes away. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Okay. It might be that after a certain period of time that goes away. Okay. If you're in Great Britain for, let's say, 12 months, then the permanent residency status is automatically removed. I don't know if that's the case though. Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, what does that entail? Where is he paying his taxes at? Where is he paying taxes from? I don't know. Right. It's an interesting question. It's something that I think that you guys have a legitimate reason to say, hold on here.
When you work on the idea of what's going on with his wife as well, it's more than a hold on a minute. It's more of a oi, you, I want a word.
It could. All right. I mean, it could be that case. Now, like I said, as I don't know anything about his wife. I don't know what the deals are with that. Okay.
Yep.
Does it sound like he's avoiding taxes? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It does sound like he's trying to hide things.
Yeah. One of the things that was going on with is more about his wife, but apparently there's this whole thing about tax avoidance is illegal, but tax evasion is legal, or vice versa. Can't remember which one it is, but
tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is not.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Well, they're saying that she hasn't done the illegal one. She's done the other one.
Okay.
But it just... the problem is the fact that she gets away with it, and yet he's making the rest of us pay out of her, quite literally pay out of our noses, because they're raising the tax or lowering the tax. Well, they're making the tax even worse for everyone, basically. So we're all having to pay ridiculous amounts. This is while the energy prices have gone up between 200% and 400%.
Right. Well, but why has the energy prices been gone up?
I'll give you a clue. Ukraine.
No.
I know, but that's the excuse they use.
Right. If people want to bitch, right, about this in Britain, okay, you guys want this. This is what you guys have been lobbying for. What, you think I'm joking?
I'm waiting for the explanation as to what you mean.
Were you or were you not one of the ones pushing for the freaking Paris Climate Accords?
Yeah, you've unfortunately you are so right there.
Okay. Now, considering that all this was good old Biden sitting up there saying we're going to sit up there and put the United States back on the Paris Accords, that's all it took.
Yeah.
Remove America from producing energy and enjoy.
Yeah. Things look like that might be changing over here. Apparently, they're looking at reopening a lot of the shale sites and fracking. And as much as you're about to go mental on it, and be prepared to have a nice little rant at this, they're looking at opening a lot of offshore wind turbines, things like that as well. All yours.
Bird Cuisinarts, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, looks like we're feeding the waters again. Hey, sounds like a plan.
And for those people who think I'm kind of joking about this, which I kind of am, but I'm also kind of serious about this. They're called bird Cuisinarts for a reason. They kill a lot of birds. In fact, we just had a company from California, one of these wind companies, all right, just agree to pay an outrageous amount of money for killing bald eagles because they killed at least 150 of them that they can count.
Oh, it's not like a bald eagle's important to you guys now, is it? He says, looking at your icon and seeing the bald eagle.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem, So these guys, they actually pled guilty to this to avoid bigger fines that were coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're bird Cuisinarts. Now,
me.
the advantage of doing them in the ocean is there's no body.
Yeah.
But to be honest, okay, so you put them. How far offshore are you trying to put these things? Right,
mate. I don't know, and we've already had this discussion before. It's not the fact that they're using them; it's the fact they still haven't actually sorted out the batteries so they can store the energy.
Oh no, you'll never store the energy. That's obvious, right? You'll never get to the point where you're going to produce enough energy to store it, right? And what's more is people think that the cost of the windmill is free because it uses air to generate electricity. Sure, okay. However, you've got to build that thing. You got to maintain it, and you're trying to maintain that thing offshore in salt water.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to go any further.
No, that pretty much covers all of the wonderful news with that.
Right?
Yeah, it's a wreck, and you know
if you're going to sit up there and talk about this, okay, these things don't last long. Okay, don't believe me? Just go on the web, go on the internet, right, and you can find where several of these big wind turbines break, and then what happens?
Yeah,
and they self-destruct, and I'll admit it's impressive, right? It is impressive, and then comes the next question: what are you using to make these things? All right. This is important, folks. For people who don't understand this is kind of an important thing. You use rare earth metals to make the magnets to basically start these things, right? And what happens when these things get destroyed? What happens when you got to replace those magnets? Because it's another thing. Permanent magnets, they last a long time, but they eventually give out, folks. People don't know that.
No, actually, I didn't.
Yeah, eventually they'll give out, right? Okay. That's just the way it is, right? Yeah. Eventually they'll need to be replaced. They get weaker over time, right? What are you going to do about that? Well, then you have to replace them. Okay, what are you going to replace them with? Where are you going to get the magnets? More rare earth metals, right? Where are you going to get those at? Oh, I mean, you're going to just pop those right up. Oh, look, we found one on the shoreline.
You mean they not washed up on the shore? I'm shocked. I thought they were.
So I'm just pointing these things out.
Yeah.
I want people to understand what they're dealing with here. All right. So, yeah, but the main reason for oil prices and everything going through the roof is Biden. All right. Biden basically declared war on the American oil sector. All right. And has done everything that he can to get in the way of the U.S. producing oil. Within a year, the U.S. went from a net exporter of energy to, once again, we've got to import oil. 1 year after Biden took over.
That's quite impressive.
And he keeps coming back. Oh, it's the oil companies. They're making profit. Well, they're supposed to make profit. Well, they're making more profit than they ever have before. That's because accounting for inflation, it's not a surprise. Yeah. Right? And the fact that you drove up oil prices, you, sir, because they couldn't produce as much as they wanted. So with that and inflation, guess what? Enjoy. You voted for this. We voted for it too. Can't say the Americans didn't vote for it too. I didn't vote for it, but other Americans did.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there is suggestions that Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, actually wants to, has been advised, and he's looking into it, to remove the green taxation that's going on over here. Now, whether he does...
You're going to issue green taxation?
No, he's already got green taxation.
Say that again.
The fact that we've already got green tax, we pay around, I believe, and I'm willing to be wrong, making that statement up right now, we pay about 40% on top of what we normally pay just as green taxation. It's literally called the green tax. Yeah. So if he gets that, it would cut all of the costs by 40% instantly.
Not sure how I think about that.
Yeah, don't suggest it to your lot. They might put it in.
All right, we'll put this over here.
It's kind of horrifying, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It is weird.
Yeah.
But I do have a story about this along these lines, by the way. We can do this right now. Let's share a screen. Okay. To go right along with what you're wondering about, here in America, we have this story. Unholy matrimony. Suspects arranged for 400 sham marriages for green cards. Nearly a dozen California residents, what a surprise, all right, were busted arranging hundreds of sham marriages between Americans and immigrants who paid to get green cards out of the bogus nuptials, the federal government said on Thursday. Marcelato?
Yeah, that'll do.
Right, or Mars Boyle Benitez, all right, 48, was the alleged ringleader of the Los Angeles agency that paired U.S. citizens with foreign national clients and staged weddings filled with prop decorations and online officiants, all right, according to the Justice Department. Benitez and his 10 cohorts would then submit fake wedding pictures and false documents and petitions to the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services and coach the newlyweds through interviews with the immigration officials, prosecutors alleged. They were getting paid between $20,000 and $30,000 in cash to orchestrate the racket and pay Americans both an upfront fee to participate and monthly stipends to keep up appearances.
Yeah. Before you carry on, did you take it up to the top of the screen? I saw an image that looked really cool. So,
which one?
That scorpion. Now, how cool does that look?
It looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody's put something together. You want me to click on this because it's an engine of some sort?
Yeah, go for it.
It's just a metal puzzle.
Oh, okay. But it did look cool, though, didn't it?
It does. All right. If you made it up with some SMA, you could probably do quite a little bit with it, actually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at things I could do with that thing. Oof, that's really quite tasty. But sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to point out a scorpion because it did look cool.
You wanted to see the scorpion. I've got to see the scorpion.
I like right. I'm really weird like this. Okay, I despise spiders. You should start with flamethrowers and go up when it comes to those things. But I love scorpions, even though they're both arachnid.
Are scorpions part of the arachnid family? They
They
might
are.
be.
They are.
I mean, I don't like either one of them.
Hey, hold it. Whoa. You don't like either one of them, and you live in a desert. There are certain creatures that are known being in a desert. Scorpions and spiders and snakes.
Well, that's true, but with all understanding, scorpions and spiders and snakes live everywhere except for the Arctic.
Here's the bad news. They actually have discovered a snow-dwelling spider in the Arctic.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's horrifying. I know.
So I mean, they're pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, granted, scorpions like hot areas, but they're actually quite common in South America and Latin America, not in the desert parts either. Right.
Yep.
Now, the scorpions are kind of an interesting creature. They're easy to find here in the United States. If you really want to hunt them, just walk out in the desert with a black light.
Oh.
Because they phosphoresce.
I did not know that. That's interesting, right there.
Yeah, they're really easy to find if you're really interested in really hunting down scorpions. That's a way to do it. They phosphoresce in their black light.
The only thing I know about scorpions is if they've got big clippers and small tail, they're generally non-poisonous, or at least not enough to be deadly. If they've got tiny clippers and a big stinger, just don't. Okay, just don't touch that. Leave that alone. This is a bad.
Good morning, Sean, or afternoon. Sharpen the parts and dust it with cyanide. Sean, you're not helping the situation here.
I like his plan, though. I just got to say, I like his plan.
You're not making my life any easier trying to convince. I think I'm letting Jensen take over the show today.
You're all doomed. Yeah, carry on.
You ready to do the next story?
Go for it, sir.
Anonymous leaks nearly 1 million Russian state network emails in major attack on Kremlin propaganda machine. The email addresses are associated with Russia's largest media corporation and has been accused of spreading propaganda. Huh? We have a Russian media corporation. Do you know of a Russian media corporation that doesn't spread propaganda? Does Anonymous really think that they've done something here?
Are you trying to suggest that our team might be involved in propaganda? Well, I'm shocked.
I'm not saying that. All right. I'm saying that first things first. Okay. In the United States, our emails, personal emails, are important to us.
Yes.
Okay. In Russia, they're not. Okay. What is somebody going to do? Come to the guy's house to protest? No. Okay. For several reasons. If he's working with the government and you go and protest, you'll be beaten down by the cops, literally. All right. No, that's number one. Number two, if you're not, you understand when you got the email account, you gave it to their government anyway. This is absolutely a joke to me. As if this was going to have any kind of consequence for anybody in Russia. We know your email address now. Oh, okay, what are you going to do, spam me? Vlad spam? You going to slap me with Vlad can spam?
Depending on exactly where the Vlad camp is, that might actually be considered dangerous. I mean, all I'm saying is loose shots.
But you understand my point. Here,
Oh
they
yeah,
see these guys are acting like, oh yeah, this is a good thing. They were able to hack the Russian emails. So what? It does nothing. It literally did. It's not like the Russians didn't know who these people were. It's not like we don't know who the Russian emails are. Oh, Russian email. Okay. Oh,
they
we got it from their network that was spreading propaganda. All Russian networks spread propaganda.
they're trying to make it sound as though they hacked the Kremlin.
They haven't done anything. Right. They did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, but and for them to write a story on this, praising themselves, right?
Does it shock you though that they do that?
Well, in a way, it does, but it doesn't because these people are all leftist loons, and they look what I've done. Yeah, but you haven't really done it. But I want a pat on the head. Personally,
Exactly.
if what I believe is that every one of the people that work for Anonymous, if I could find out who they were, I'd throw them all in jail. Every single one of them. But that's just me.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I know the reason. But what is your dislike of Anonymous?
They are a left wing organization that have it in for America. All right.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I have nothing to. They've never done anything of worth any good to anybody. All right, except for helping leftist loons like Biden get in office. All right.
Pretty
So
much.
I really don't have a very good opinion of them.
Okay, that's fair. Just wanted to make sure. You may have had a more personal reason for all I knew, but I wanted to check. No, it's exactly what I expected you to put.
Anonymous probably works for the intelligence agencies. I guarantee that some of the people that are part of Anonymous are working for the intelligence agencies. I guarantee that. Right. The problem is they're doing things on their own. They're doing it for their own purposes. They're not being directed by the intelligence agencies. These are people that are rogue within the intelligence agency, and they're dangerous. That's another reason why I can't stand these people. Now, if I could identify who they were, I'd get rid of all of them, every single one of them.
Fair.
They're not making life better for anybody, right, except for themselves, right, and their own personal proclivities. Anti-abortion group claims it took 115 fetuses from a medical waste truck. Okay, let's talk about this from NPR. An anti-abortion group that is facing previous federal charges said it took 115 fetuses from a medical waste company and buried 110 of them at undisclosed locations. The Washington, D.C. police, which originally said it found 5 fetuses in one of the group's member apartments, is continuing to investigate the case. At a news conference Tuesday, 2 members of the progressive anti-abortion uprising, Teresa Bukanovic.
Yeah, I'll do.
I mean, that's close. Bukovic, right? And Lauren Handy, that one's a little easier, all right, said that they got the fetal remains from a medical waste company employee who gave them the box from his truck. The 2 women saw the medical waste truck from Curtis Bay Medical Waste Services outside Washington Surgical Clinic, which performs medical procedures such as abortions. The women said that they took the box to Handy's apartment. In total, they have claimed that there were 115 fetuses in the boxes. Okay. Why? Okay, why would you do this? I understand that you're part of an anti-abortion group. All right. I'll be honest with you. I am an anti-abortionist because I think of it as infanticide, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But why would you go to a waste truck to get bodies?
Yeah.
All right. Now, later on, they claimed that there were 5 of them who were obviously alive before they were killed, that they were born alive.
Yeah.
You have no real proof of that, and you're not going to be able to prove something like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. With this kind of thing, you need to have other types of proof, right? You don't need the fetuses to sit up there to have that kind of proof. So I have a problem with that. I just don't think that's pretty unseemly, right? Would you agree?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it just let's go back outside the United States because this is kind of important. Bennett. BB activist threatened Silman before she left the coalition. Bennett and Lapid met over the coalition crisis. Netanyahu congratulates Silman's decision. All right. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett stated that MK, which is a minister for the Knesset, I believe, Edith Silman had been threatened by supporters of opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu and religious Zionist head Bezalel Smotrich. All right, until she broke and left the coalition Wednesday. All right, now the problem is that's not what she said. She said she's leaving the coalition of the government because of Bennett. Okay. And why is this important? Because guess what? They're now in a crisis again because the coalition is coming apart. Not that it was ever going to stay very long. They had one thing in common. All right. The people, Bennett is one of them. Bennett's only goal was to get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu and try to put him in jail. And the case against Benjamin Netanyahu, you notice how they're no longer really talking much about the case against Benjamin Netanyahu, all the supposed dealings and everything, because it's what they started finding out is that it was all innuendo. What a surprise! By the left-wing loons, right? That when you started looking at where all this was coming from, it's coming from the left. It's coming from made up things. When people started saying, "Let's see what's really going on," this is why they were talking to the courts. They thought that they could just ram it right through, and when all of a sudden now they had to start producing evidence.
Hold it. Are you suggesting that the left might be falsifying information and using it to actually try and get rid of leaders of a country? When has that ever happened? I mean,
suggesting it?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no, I'm not suggesting it. I'm outright saying it. Right? I'm outright saying that the leftist cabalists in the around the area, all right, they made deals with groups that they know are running terrorists. And now that coalition is falling apart, what's happening in Israel? You have a bunch of terrorist attacks happening in Israel right now. Right? You got a bunch of freaking, stabbings and shootings and all sorts of things. Well, what a surprise! The Arabs in the area, the Palestinians in the area, not living up to the agreements again. What a freaking surprise! Color me shocked. That's like saying, "Oh, gee, all right, Vladimir Putin will never invade the Ukraine. He's not really invading the Ukraine. Those really aren't Russian troops; they're Chechens."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I heard they were being taken to the incinerator. I don't know where these things were being taken. I just find the whole thing unseemly, right? Just absolutely unseemly. Kind of like this. A 13-year-old girl is arrested in a hip-breaking attack on a 76-year-old New York City woman. Surveillance video shows the attackers laughing and smirking as the 76-year-old woman is violently thrown to the ground, breaking her hip. 13-year-old girl who is allegedly the main aggressor in a violent robbery of a 76-year-old woman who tried to fend off 3 people as they fought to get in the front door of her Bronx apartment building earlier this week has been arrested, the police source with direct knowledge of the case said. Did they let her go? Oh, well, she's probably already out on the street without being charged or anything. Thank you, Adams. All right? Thank you, Eric Adams. All right? The mayor of New York. The girl is accused of robbery and assault in Monday's hip-fracturing attack on the woman at her Belham Bay building near Roberts and Hobart's Avenues. All right, the girl, all right, weren't immediately clear. Okay, I don't know what they mean. Weren't immediately clear.
No. It's like they're trying to make excuses already, isn't it?
Surveillance video obtained earlier this week shows the woman struggling to keep the front door of her building closed, but the attackers were able to force their way in. Lady, I understand what you were trying to do, but you know something? If you'd had a gun, this wouldn't have happened.
This is true.
Right? If you weren't living in New York where you don't have to have a gun, you had a gun, bang, bang, bang. This shit wouldn't be happening, would it?
Mm-hmm.
Just pointing out that you need to find a way to protect yourself. I've tried to explain this to people, all right? The one person primarily responsible for your safety is you, not the police, all right? Not the guy down the street. The person most responsible for your personal safety the moment you become an adult is you. And that includes young adults. Okay? When you're a child, the one mostly responsible for your safety is your parents.
Yep.
And there's a transition there. Okay? This is why age of majority is important when you're trying to decide these things. Because there is a point where legally you're on your own.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Okay. Now, I know we've done this story, but I want to point some things out here. BLM LA mansion sold for 250% more than the price of similar homes in the area. Right now, if you take a look at, you can see this little picture here and this little picture here, and then you have the picture of the estate. All right, you don't see how far away it is and stuff, but I'm going to show you something. Right now, this looks like something interesting here, right? And then of course this is the BLM people, having tea and a tea party to celebrate the death of George Floyd that got them millions and billions of dollars, right? Because that's what it looks like to me. Yeah. Does this look like a serious conversation of women that are mourning?
Oh, good God, no.
This is a celebration, according to them, all right, of the anniversary of George Floyd's death. Is this how you celebrate him? Is this how you memorialize him, with tea and wine and a food out? No, believe it or not, this is not why I did the story. Look at this.
Yeah.
Does this look like somebody down for the struggle? Or does it look like, with her freaking face in a trough?
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, that's not why I did the story. Right? I did the story because I don't think people understand what this was. Okay? And I want you to take a look at this. This is what they purchased. This is the house that you were seeing everything in. Yeah. They purchased all of this area, though. This is an entire compound here.
Yeah.
This is a large area that they purchased. This thing is not inexpensive. Now, the other thing that's happened is people are starting to come wise because they realized something. That the property was sold for $3.5 million, all right, from a group, the original owners, which were a group of televangelists, right? Bet you didn't know that televangelism was a money-making proposition. All right, wow. Still in this country. All right, but some televangelists sit up there and sold the property in the compound to a guy who then, through a series of corporations, all right, sold it for $6 million.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that he did that like weeks later, not the next day or anything, but I'm talking about within weeks. He did not hold on to this property, and the value went from $3.1 million to over $5.5 million. The evaluation did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people are like, well, wait a minute here. This almost looks like money laundering. No shit. Really?
They'd never do anything criminal.
Really?
I mean, how could
You
you
don't
suggest
think
that?
that anything like this? This might not be a money laundering situation where they basically, we'll buy it for $6 million. We'll give you $6 million. You paid $3 million. We'll let you keep $1 million, and then the other $2 million go right back to Patricia Clarice in a private deal. Want to bet that something like that didn't go down?
Wouldn't surprise.
This is money laundering out the wazoo, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this was. Good morning, Jim. Or good afternoon, rather.
One thing I should point out, you do realize that nothing, and I do mean nothing, will happen for this. They will be allowed to get away with it, and people wouldn't dare say anything, because the moment they do, they'll start being hit with the "you're an ist, you're a phobe, you're a this, you're a that."
She's already accusing the reporter who outed her or for doing it of all that.
Oh God!
She's already come out and said that.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know this. I you see what I mean? I knew that they was going to. Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's already made her. I don't normally make public comments. Bitch, you've never found a microphone you didn't love. Right? Don't come back in there. Oh, I don't normally talk about it. No, you're an ist. You're a misogynist or a misandrist, however you want to talk it. Right? You're just an evil person. All right? You're a lying scam artist. That's all you ever have been. Is these people are just scam artists. All right. And the sad part is they're getting help to create the scam by the people in the White House today.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're getting kickbacks from that too. To be perfectly honest. You got some fillet knives? What are you? I'm starting to get concerned. Offering fillet knives to Jensen is not the way to be doing things, Jim.
What? I'd look after them.
Remind me of that good Gazamzan thing, because there's a
Yeah. Well, me good zoms on, that's all.
All right.
I see anything wrong with that.
Let's see what's going on in jolly old Britain, which we started the thing, but we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Father 39 was fined £650 for driving outside his own home after school zone scheme was introduced that bans cars from entering during pupil pickup and drop-off times.
Wow.
Right? A dad who was fined £650 for driving outside his own home in a new school street zone. Are you kidding me, Jensen?
What?
I've got to go to work. Well, I'm sorry, I can't go to work right now. It's a school zone time.
Yes. You know, you're laughing. No, that's actually the case. And I vaguely remember there was a thing about this a while ago, and the person said, well, "What the hell am I supposed to do?" And the council's response was, "Leave early."
The school street scheme bans vehicles without a permit from entering the road during the pickup and drop-off times between 8:30 and 9:15 a.m. and 3 p.m. and 3:45 Monday to Thursday. However, residents, businesses, and carriers can apply for a permit and be exempt. Well, how much do they have to pay for a permit to sit there and get back and forth to their own friggin' house?
Oh yeah, you getting the idea?
This is bullshit. I'm dropping off my kid. I'm picking my kid up. What are you going to tell me?
Horrifying, isn't it?
That's insane, Jensen. and I know I'm saying that's insane, but see, here in America, our arguments with schools come differently. Yes. We have a Stanford professor who calls cops on Berkeley professor who exposed her $5,000 an hour consulting fee.
Wow. Yes, please.
Now, first of all, this guy didn't actually expose it, but he's also a lying sack of shit. Okay? Professor at Stanford University in California has been branded Professor Karen after she allegedly threatened to call the cops on a black professor who revealed her $5,000 at home or an hour consulting fee. No, that is not what she did. Okay? Because that's not what happened. Right? Joe Baker or Bowler, a white education professor, I don't know what a white education professor is at Stanford, has been embroiled in a heated spat with Berkeley University's Jelani Nelson. Dude, change your name. Jelani? Jelani? Really? Jelani. You need to go back and slap your parents. Okay? I'm serious. People like Dweezil, right? Like Dweezil Zappa, you should have slapped your dad, all right? And just slap the Dweezil right out of your dad.
Yep.
And you should have been there with your sister while she was kicking him in the shins for naming her moon unit, all right? Wow. What the hell is wrong with people?
Damn, that's
now, in this case, I might be overstepping the bounds because, for all I know, Jelani is some kind of name in, family name that's been carried over. It's possible. Doubt it. X for doubt. Right? I think he's part of that new generation that was part of the group that came out and I want to name my kid Lisa, and it's going to be spelled LISS_AA. Just say Lisa.
Yeah.
Right? On Tuesday, Nelson, who is black, shared a screenshot of an email Bowler had sent him in the wake of his tweet that mentioned alerting the police. Okay? As a courtesy to a fellow faculty member, I want to let you know that the sharing of private details about me on social media yesterday is now being taken up by the police and lawyers. All right? So it wasn't the $5,000 consulting fee. It was the fact that her address and name were being tweeted.
Yep.
And he took it as to, she's calling the police on a black man. Just because I'm black, she's calling the police. No. She reported the whole Twitter thing, which you retweeted. Moron. Who's the Karen here?
Yep.
Sorry. All right. She was giving you a courtesy notice that, hey, the police are involved in this. They may want to talk to you because you were retweeting this. Dumbass. Now, he didn't retweet, as far as I know, he did not retweet the address or anything, right?
Okay.
But it was part of that thread.
Yeah.
And I think she sent this email to everybody that was on the thread.
Okay.
So, hey, I feel for her. Not really. I mean, I'm sure she's a leftist after all. She's a Stanford professor. Okay. I don't feel that bad for her, but you understand, right?
Yeah.
And $5,000 an hour consulting fee?
It's good if you can get
I'll take 8 hours for that.
Isn't it?
You don't mind me working for a day, do you? I'll consult the hell out of you.
Yep.
Right, I'm sorry. And it paid her what, $40,000? So that's 8. So she worked for 8 hours. She worked for a day. She worked an entire work day.
I'm impressed. Yeah, hard work right there. It's not like anyone else in the world would ever do. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Now I can understand why you're jealous of her. Right? Mm-hmm. I can be honest with you. All right, but you had no business even getting involved in this tweet. All right, and Jelani. Right? You should have just kept your nose out of the situation. That's just my opinion, but that's how I see it. And you thought, Jensen, did you think this was over? Did
Oh
you think
God.
that the Will Smith saga was over?
Oh God, no. Look, is he dead? If the answer to that is no, then whatever. Before
Jada
you,
Pinkett Smith wishes Will Smith didn't slap Chris Rock at the Oscars. They agree he overreacted. Stop. I'm not even going to read the rest of the story to you guys, right? I'm just going to comment. Jada, do you have any more knives you want to stab in the back of your husband? Do you want to stop waving his balls around for everybody to see? They said that, yeah, we all know you've got his balls. Okay? We already know you castrated him. All right? We already know you demasculated the guy. All right? I don't think I need any other proof.
Right. Here's a thing. I don't know if you know this, but do you remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? As we're talking about dear old William Smith.
I do.
Well, they're redoing it with a modern spin. Now, for those of you that watched it, it was, to put it bluntly, a stupid ass comedy. There is no other way I can describe it. Whether you found it funny or not, it was still technically a comedy.
Well, it was. Let's be perfectly frank. Right?
Yeah.
Will Smith, and I know no one's going to like this. Okay. Will Smith didn't make that show.
Fair.
All right. If you ever watch The Fresh Prince, what are you laughing at? You're laughing at the uber rich family.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else. You're not. That the situation is an imagined view of what rich people are like. But if you really want to know what rich people are like, right? He's given us a wide open view.
Yep.
All right, of what rich people can be like, of the worst elements that the people think. And let me tell you something. Not too long ago, there was a movie that was whoa, controversial to say the least. Right, back in the 70s, called Peyton Place.
I've heard of that.
Right, where people were aghast at the immorality of wives and husbands cheating on one another, right? These guys in real life make Peyton Place look like a Saturday evening, all right, Sunday school fest.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be perfectly frank here. And my problem is when you talk about a strong, independent woman, this ain't a strong, independent woman. This is an evil, manipulative, backstabbing bitch.
Yes.
Or to use the vernacular that's a little bit more understandable to you British types, cunt. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But like I was saying with that, the new thing they're doing, it's really bad. Now, you remember Carlton, the young gentleman who was, him. Well, now he's an adult drug addict who is hyper depressed because there are not enough black people in his area. No, as in you see him sniffing cocaine regularly.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. And you remember Uncle Phil? To put it bluntly, the big fat cheerful dude. You okay with that?
Cheerful?
Well, okay, big fat dude. Will that do?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't think
Yeah.
he was ever cheerful on the show.
Well, now he's basically about, I don't know, as far as I can see, about 5'9" and ripped. Okay, pure muscle. And he's still a lawyer. Yeah, sure. It only goes downhill from there. I won't bother going through the rest, but I think they're just calling it Bel Air. My suggestion is avoid it like the plague. It is nothing to do with Fresh Prince. Okay, nothing.
Yeah. You ready for another story?
Go for it.
Are you sure you're ready for this one?
Oh God, go for it.
No, I'm going to save this one for later. We'll do this one instead. New York judge kills himself weeks after authorities raided his home.
What did they find?
Right? We don't know. The veteran New York State judge killed himself less than 2 weeks after his home was raided by investigators, according to one of his attorneys. John McCloskey, or Mikulski, an acting justice in the Erie County Supreme Court, died by suicide Tuesday at his Amherst home, where federal and state law enforcement officers had executed a search warrant 12 days earlier. He was 61. All right. Now, you would think, wait a minute here, this is related to the crime of doing this, right? However, as you read down through the stories, you find out that this guy attempted suicide before.
Oh.
All right. Suicide by train, as a matter of fact.
No.
FBI's continued probing Mikulski's connection with Jarris following a train incident where they were seeking evidence of tax crimes during March 24th raid at his home. That's what they were doing. All right. But he had attempted to commit suicide by getting hit by a train, but he only broke an arm or something like that. Okay. And, of course, he hasn't been charged and wasn't charged in any kind of inquiry. So, in this case, I'm not saying the guy was above board, right? But I have a feeling that this guy was not altogether there. Okay? That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this guy just he was struggling with a lot of mental health issues, all right, and succeeded in ending his life. It's unfortunate. But the media, of course, portrays it as if, well, the only reason he did this was because, that they were closing in on him. They were closing in on him. And, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is that you would take your life for these things for most people. Let's be honest.
One sec. Jim, you're saying suicide by train is not believable. Are you telling me you can't get on board with that idea? Interesting. Yes!
Boo!
Oh, I had to, and you know it.
New Mexico man who called January 6th a magical day was found not guilty on all charges in the first Capitol Hill breach acquittal. This isn't quite true, but we're going to go on to it. A New Mexico man who testified that January 6th was a magical day has been found not guilty of unlawfully entering the Capitol after a judge found that he reasonably believed that the police officers essentially let him into the building. It's the first acquittal in the government's sprawling prosecution of those who participated in the riots at the Capitol that temporarily halted Congress's certification of Joe Biden's win over Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election. During the 2-day bench trial before U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden, Matthew Martin defended himself against the 4 misdemeanor charges, by arguing that the police allowed him into the building. Speaking from the bench Wednesday, McFadden, a Trump appointee, said that despite the multiple clues that the Capitol Hill grounds and building were restricted, Martin's belief that he had permission to enter the building was plausible because officers didn't try to stop him. In a trial brief, prosecutors said that he went to the Capitol from his hotel room at some point after the first breach of the building had occurred. On his way there, he passed a line of police cars, signs announcing that the area of the Capitol grounds were closed, and smashed window panes, at the rotunda doors. I'll be honest with you, that wouldn't have made me think that the area was closed.
No.
Because if everyone was wandering around, I wouldn't think it was that. Who knows how long that sign had been there?
Yeah.
The police weren't enforcing it. Why would I assume that that's the case? Well, there are alarms going off. Okay, and I don't know if you've been to any airport recently, but those damn alarms go off all the damn times because there's always some dumbass opening the door.
Yep.
Does that mean you evacuate the building and run around like a freaking chicken with your head cut off? No, especially when the police aren't running around like a chicken with their head cut off.
Yep.
So the judge basically said, well, this looks, that's plausible. This guy's excuse is completely understandable. And the thing is this guy, of the convictions that they've gotten, all but 3, all right, have gone to trial, all right, really haven't, that have been pleading guilty. All these other people plead guilty, all right? They still got 400 more to do, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Right? And this guy decided to defend himself. In the one case was a guy with a gun, right? And apparently they have there's evidence that he was part of the group that bashed in windows and everything, right? So that guy got convicted, all right? The next guy was acquitted of everything except for the misdemeanor trespassing charge, right? All the federal charges, the felony charges, all right, he was found innocent of, right? So, and neither one of those guys defended themselves. This guy defended himself, said, look, judge, look at this. And he's showing the actual evidence. Which is what I would do. Don't trust lawyers. I understand that when you hire people, but if you're not a real rich client, if you don't have a lot of money, folks, I'm not sure you should be trusting these public defender lawyers because they're not necessarily out for your interests. Oh no, you need to plead to this. I guarantee you, most of the people were told to plead to it because they were guilty, right? We can't make this case. We're advising you to plead. Anybody who pled to this was an idiot. I'm just putting it out there.
Fair.
If you pled to this, you were all sorts of wrong. Love this one. Love this story. The IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig testified to the Senate Finance Committee today. Rettig said agents were only picking up 1 in 5 taxpayer phone calls.
Wow.
We are currently running around 19 to 20% level, all right, of service. So people whose job it is to answer the questions about their taxes, because in the United States, the tax code is so freaking complicated. All right? For people who are making an average amount of money, the tax code, when you're trying to say, okay, what can I claim as a deduction? How do I claim this deduction? What qualifies and what doesn't qualify? So you don't get a visit from these assholes later. Right? People that are just trying to do the right thing, well, we'll decide if we ever want to get to you. Right? All right. In perhaps a not unrelated statement, Rettig also noted that 53% of the IRS agents are working from home full time. Can I have this job? Can I have this job? Does this sound like the job for you?
Yeah. Oh, in all fairness, you got a choice of that, or you can have the one of consulting for $5,000 an hour. I think I'll take the consulting one, to be honest. Though then again, I mean, saying that, the question is how much do you pay in tax on that $5,000?
Well, I'll take that job when I'm on vacation, okay?
Yeah.
But this job, I'm like, well, you just don't answer the phone?
Yeah.
Ring, 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 click.
Yep.
La, 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 la. What was that YouTube video I was watching?
Yep.
And you're paying these people? It sounds to me that you start off going, okay, well, yeah, we're having this call. How many calls did you take? 3? Yeah, okay. Pick up your last paycheck this Friday. You're no longer working for us.
Yeah.
You would think that would be the case, right?
Yeah. I mean, you guys are paying these people to do this shit, And, well, yeah, 1 in 5 says everything, doesn't it?
The Viking guy was armed with that pointy hat, got almost 3 years. Yeah, that's what happens when you plead guilty.
Yeah.
Don't plead guilty to these people, folks. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah. And look, testifying in your own defense can be risky.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But to be honest, in the case that they're talking about here, this was a bench trial, right? Which means that it wasn't a jury trial. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And if you have a bench trial, to be honest, testifying is something you're probably going to have to do with the judge if you're smart. The judge will ask difficult questions, but the prosecutors basically can't go on the attack, all right? This is something that people don't understand. If the prosecutors attempted to go on the attack, they will irritate the judge because the judge will be the one generally asking questions now.
Okay.
Right? And the judge knows what the tactics are because he's a freaking lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay? So trying to make you look bad, trying to get you angry, and all the other tactics and smarmy tactics are not going to faze a judge during this kind of a trial because, well, quite frankly, they're used to those kind of tactics. But if you can go in there and say, look, I mean, they were letting me in. Well, but he should have known better because there was an alarm going off. Oh, please. I would have looked at him and said, what do you mean? The alarms go off all the time, right? It didn't look like the police were responding to the alarms. No one was doing anything. And he's right about that, too. Well, there were alarms going off. Well, what were the police doing about the alarms? Nothing. Why would I think? Why wouldn't I think that there was a problem? There was anything to do with this.
No, you wouldn't.
Do you want to know more about what our federal government's up to?
Oh, God, go on.
Right. This is the story I told you I'd wait for later.
Okay.
You really want the story?
Oh, yes.
FDA investigating illnesses linked to Lucky Charms, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no!
Hold it.
Food cereal.
Dude.
The FDA is investigating why hundreds of customers have reported becoming ill after eating the Lucky Charms cereal, the Post has learned. Really? I think that they're sick of eating Lucky Charms because, well, quite frankly, they ate too much of it.
Yeah. Shouldn't they be renamed Unlucky Charms given that situation?
On Friday, the Post reported that the sugar cereal made by General Mills is believed to be making people sick, with consumers complaining that they began vomiting and experiencing diarrhea after eating a bowl of Lucky Charms. You know what that sounds like? It doesn't sound like it's Lucky Charms that's the issue. It sounds like your milk might have been bad.
Yeah.
Put it out there. Since then, more than 400 people have flooded into iwaspoisoned.com, a website that tracks foodborne illnesses. Some people have complained that their poop turned green. You were eating too much of this shit, dude. This is right after what? What day was it? Oh, that's right. It was after St. Patrick's Day. Let's guess what you were actually involved in.
Wow.
Now the Food and Drug Administration has said it's aware of the reports and is looking into the matter.
Oh, they're pissing themselves laughing, and you know it.
General Mills, all right, has declined comment. But has told the Post last week that it did not believe its cereal was making people sick, but it conceded that there's an ongoing review in the matter, which is responsible. Right? I mean, that's something I would definitely take and say, okay, we're going to investigate.
Yeah.
3 stories left.
Okay.
Just 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just 3. Are you ready? You ready, Jets?
Ready. Wow.
Daughter batted dad with sex toys and sex toy dispute. A delivery by an Amazon package containing a sex toy triggered a domestic confrontation that resulted in the arrest of an 18-year-old Floridian, right, for allegedly battering her father, according to court records. Police say that the 50-year-old victim opened a package addressed to his daughter, Victoria Marson, and discovered it contained a strap-on dildo. The man, surprised by what was inside, then confronted his daughter in reference to the package. Marson became enraged and very upset, right? When her father tried to grab her as she walked away, Marson began to kick and punch him several times in the face. Before departing the family's Vero Beach residence, the teen reportedly told her father, "I'm going to kill you. I hate you."
Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt you here, but don't move the screen. Do not move the screen. Mum mistakenly packed meth in child's lunch bag.
Oh, that's the next story. Don't worry.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you're doing that.
Marson, whose occupation is listed as salesperson in court and jail records, was arrested last night for domestic battery, a misdemeanor. She was released from the county jail this afternoon on her own recognizance, all right, and is scheduled for arraignment, all right, on May 3rd. Yes. Now, well, I think that her father is, well... I mean, her daughter was 18. His daughter was 18. She's an adult, right?
Yeah.
Now, I realize that this could cause questions in the household, right?
It could have been worse if it wasn't a daughter and it was a son. It was still a strap-on dildo. That's when questions need to be asked.
Oh, and I can see this already. Jim, I know. You know what? Since you guys are so interested in this story,
oh yeah,
right now. Mom mistakenly packed meth in the child's lunch bag. Okay, don't you hate it when you search all over the house for your misplaced methamphetamine and Xanax, only to discover that the drugs were inside your 4-year-old child's lunch bag at daycare?
It happens often. Yeah.
Louisiana cops were summoned yesterday to the child care facility in West Monroe after staffers discovered narcotics inside a bag carried by the daughter of Jennifer Wise, 35. The police investigation revealed that Wise had left a gram of meth and half a Xanax bar, all right, and several doses of the sedative clonazepam.
Yeah,
right, in the girl's lunch bag, but she dropped her off and take it. Now, you want to tell me how that's possible?
To say the least. What was she on? Oh no, that's right. We've got a list of what she was on. The thing is, okay, there's one important thing here. Okay, from Louisiana. Hands up, who thought it was going to be from Florida? Come on.
Well, yeah, everyone, yeah, that's very true. Everyone did that. During the police interview on Tuesday afternoon, Wise reportedly admitted to purchasing the drugs, all right, a day earlier for $75. Wise said she had actually misplaced the drugs and was currently looking for them. When the cops come over and you admit that you're looking for your stash, you know, you're kind of in trouble.
You know, I think we can safely say her name is most definitely incorrect, or at least misrepresented. After all, Wise. Or should we say, not so.
Wise has been charged with 4 felony narcotic counts and 2 misdemeanor raps. She is locked up in the, I'm not even going to attempt to say that, Parish Jail for $14,500 bond. Yeah, you're toast, girl. God.
See, what they don't say is the fact that she went up to the teacher and actually asked for it to be returned.
Oh wait! In 5 years they'll put the kid on Adderall. It's about the same as that. He's not wrong.
Unfortunately, yeah.
He's not wrong. Okay. Ready for the last story of the day?
Go for it.
You sure? Are you positive?
It's bound to be fun.
Oh, it is.
Oh, good.
Dog Farting Awareness Day started on social media in 2014.
I'm sorry, what now?
You said you were ready.
Okay. Yeah, I take it all back. I most definitely was not ready for dog farts.
Dog Farting Awareness Day, celebrated annually on April 8th, all right, highlights the ways a canine's gas passing habits can offer insight into the animal's health.
Yeah.
The holiday began as a social media in 2014 with dog owners and organizations, including the Animal Rescue League of Iowa and the Heritage Humane Society in Virginia, spreading the word with memes and hashtags. Did you know that today was a major celebration day? Did you understand that today was Dog Farting Awareness Day?
I don't actually know what to say to this. This is a whole level of wow.
I think we understand what that was all about, John. Just put it out there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The ASPCA declared April 8th to be the first annual Dog Fighting Awareness Day. All right.
Yeah.
Now these guys talk dog farting.
Dog fighting, you'd understand, wouldn't you?
Yes. Dog Farting Awareness Day is now a day for annual organizations and dog lovers to share tips about the canine digestive health. Flatulence in dogs is most commonly caused by canines swallowing air while eating. But excessive farting accompanied by vomiting and diarrhea is a sign of more serious health illness.
No shit. Oh, wrong joke. Bad. Okay, I'm sorry for that one. That joke was not actually meant to happen there. By the way, I had it all set up for. I was safe to say I'm blown away after this one, but no, I think
perhaps a former Brazilian fart porn photo.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? Wasn't there that TikToker that was selling her farts?
Yeah.
Made
Yeah.
thousands and thousands. Yogurt? Yogurt makes everything better.
Don't know what to say. Wow. Okay.
See, you just didn't know what day it was today.
I've got to say, now that I know that, today is definitely looking somewhere. I don't know whether it's up, down, or what, but it's definitely something.
All right, folks, that's all I got for right now. Hope that you all have a good day. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye, everyone.